Hello, beautiful people. My name is Emma.
And I'm MC.
And we are your hosts of the G-Forces podcast. So, this has been
a whirlwind.
It has been crazy the last week.
I'm honestly so tired.
I'm tired, but I'm kind of still on a high.
You are. She definitely is. Rightfully so.
It's been a great week for me.
It's just been fun, but we made it our own. That's the one thing that I want to note is that with IndyCar, we went on our own. We went on our own time. We went to these places. We kind of stumbled through the weekend, to be really honest.
Yeah, we definitely did. We had some really high highs as well as some extreme lows.
So many lows.
Really low lows.
Not really. More like first world lows, but yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I got pooped on by a bird, which I know is good luck, but still, it's a kind of a low.
Yeah.
Anyways, we are going to break up this episode by doing one segment about IndyCar this weekend and then one segment about F1 this weekend. Obviously, our IndyCar experience is going to be basically all of our conversation about IndyCar. Yeah. There's a lot to get into.
Yeah, I feel like definitely more IndyCar though.
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna...
After this weekend, now that IndyCar is done, we're fully back in F1.
Yeah, it's also...
Prepare to be sick of us.
I feel like we say this every summer or every holiday season. I don't know, we say
it
a lot.
You say very often that we were busy, we had things going on. I think that's true, but also with how boring F1 has been, how exciting IndyCar has been, it's been really hard to just pay attention to F1.
Yeah.
Personally.
We haven't had the ability to really watch a bunch of the races live, the last 2 or 3. So
F1 races.
So we've been watching a day or two later because of whatever situation we're in. And we both agreed that this weekend we're going to watch everything as live as possible or within the 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Because, one, social media, as we all know, you open up Instagram and you immediately know who's on pole or how people performed or what cars crashed. Yeah. And so I think for us, we just want to be, a bit more present because it's just been hard when you already know the outcome, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
So.
All right, we're going to get into it. We're going to do our IndyCar segment first because it's fresh in our minds. We've got a lot to chat about for that. And then end it with F1, our classic, what we've always talked about. Okay, we're going to start the weekend off. Last Thursday for me. So, as you guys know, we've spoken about a bunch. We live in Nashville. We have for the last few years. And we don't actually live within the city anymore. A year ago, we moved to the suburbs. But both of us, we have jobs. That's not this. This is not our job. It would be fun, but it's not our job.
We have jobs in the city, and so Emma, after work,
every day throughout the week, we were looking on Instagram, and we saw that Will Buxton was in Nashville already.
Early, that Monday.
On Monday or Tuesday. And so American's like, oh my gosh, what if I see him in the city? And I was like, I'm going to go, when I go into my office on Thursday, I'm going to get drinks after work and see if I can find him. Where our offices are, where my office is in particular, I'm not going to say. I'm just going to, it's in a general area that's, touristy, but, not really at the same time. It is one of the tourist sections that people that live in Nashville can stand a little bit more, sort of. And there's a bunch of, really nice hotel bars.
Yeah.
And so there's one in particular that me and my coworkers have gone to a bajillion times after work. And at first I had to go make a return somewhere, did that, went to one of the other bars because I was like, maybe he's there. It was not the vibe. There was nobody there. And I was like, I don't even know why we came here. I don't even like this place. And then we went down to the other bar that we normally go to a million times. We walk in. Within 2 seconds, I immediately turn to my friend and I go, oh my God, it's Will Buxton. And then I start having a slight panic attack.
And I knew it was going to be Emma. I just had a feeling.
I'm so glad that I was dressed cool that day too.
Yeah, you did look cool.
And so we get a drink, and then I was like, I need to go to the bathroom. I need to calm myself down. So I leave my drink with my friend, and then I go to the bathroom, and I come back, and I'm standing at the bar. Oh, and then he walks past me.
This entire time, I'm getting text messages.
In all caps.
Just all caps, one after the other, faster than I've ever seen her text before. and just full on like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
So, if you guys don't know, in a former life, I was a fangirl, a One Direction fangirl, when I was about 12. So it's been more than it's been 14 plus years since that part of my life.
It was a wild time, guys.
And I've never acted like that towards anything since then. And like honestly, because we work in music, I don't really get crazy excited like at the concept of meeting artists because it's kind of what the daily is in Nashville. But for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've watched Will Buxton on TV for years now, and
I feel like
he seems so nice. Like I have his book. Like
I also feel like my idiot mindset is like, if you're on TV, you're famous. Like
no, and like we know that he's not famous. Like we were sitting down.
Yeah.
He's famous in like the motorsport world. But we were sitting down, my friend and I, we were sitting at a table and she was like, I don't think anybody here knows who he is or else like people would be bothering him. And because he was with like one friend and then it was him. And so then we sit down and I'm drinking my drink and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I'm starting to plan like how I'm going to say hello to him because I'm like freaking out. Again, for no reason. He's just like a late 30s, early 40-year-old white man who gives off the nicest personality on TV.
I feel like you really enjoyed your conversation.
No, he gives off the nicest but my fear was he's so nice on TV. What if he's not like that in person?
Yeah, well, and everyone always says like don't meet your heroes type situation. And you have that fear because you have had friends and we've had friends and who have met people that they really admire and they've been kind of terrible.
Yeah. And so then eventually my friend is like, okay, go get another drink. And as you're leaving the bar, like just walk over with your new drink to him and like ask him, hey, are you so-and-so? I obviously knew he was Will Buxton, but just to introduce him. And then, so that's what I did. And I introduced myself. And I gave him a compliment. I said that, like, we loved watching him on F1. We're loving watching him on IndyCar. And just wanted to, like, talk a bit more about that. And then he was like, here, sit down. And so I sat down, and then we ended up talking for, like, 10 minutes. And it was so lovely. Like, he asked me what I do for work, which was really cool. Like, and we were just chatting about motorsports, specifically IndyCar a lot. And I was telling him how we were going to the race, and then we got Paddock passes.
Yeah, and
he is as lovely as you imagine, if not even lovelier. 10 out of 10. Will Buxton, thank you for the nicest 10-minute interaction. I know you're watching this, but still, it was amazing. Yeah. It was so nice getting to meet you.
Yeah. No, I got text the entire night, and it was funny at one point because I was home, and I had to stay home because of stuff that's going on at our house, and I was like, how fast could I make it downtown? But no, I'm really happy you had that experience in the sense of like just geeking out, you know, it didn't feel weird or I don't know. You always have that fear of
it definitely made me feel like, oh, I do know what I'm talking about. And that's like I don't feel stupid right now, which was so nice.
Yeah, and that's what I think I asked you. I was like, did it make you feel like you knew your shit? And you were like, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So
and so that happened.
And she comes home and she's just like grinning ear to ear. She is like, don't tell me anything bad. I want to ride this high for a few more hours.
I've been riding that high this whole week, kind of.
Yeah. So that's Thursday.
That was Thursday. Friday, we have a low Friday.
So we're currently getting work done at our house, and the work that we were getting done, they needed to like shut off all the power to the house from the box, from the thing on the telephone pole away from the house. And so there's no way for us to do it, so you have to call your power company. It's the same thing in, I think, most American homes. And so we called them. They set it up for Friday, and we had no power because they needed to do the work. They get the work done, and then at about 5 p.m., they're like, hey, you can call back the power company. They'll turn your power back on. So the problem is, and I think anyone that has a house or deals with utilities, and no shame on the customer service workers because they are really fighting for their lives the way some people talk to them. So I appreciate everything that they do. But it was crazy because we called them. It took a really long time to get an answer. And then they're like, oh, someone's coming out. We called them again. And they were like, oh, someone's coming out. And then my husband ended up coming to bed at like 1:30 p.m. or a.m.
I've been laying in bed this whole time having a panic attack that the food in our fridge is going to go bad.
Yeah, so it was like that concern, and then at least like Nashville tends to have like a fake fall every like August, September, where we get really, really cold at night, and it's really nice because you wake up in the morning and it's just like.
Luckily, we're going through that right now, so it was comfortable to sleep with the windows open.
Comfortable to sleep with the windows open, and we were okay in that sense. Obviously, like you make it work. We've sat in 85-degree.
Yeah, no, it was more the fact that we were. I was freaking out about
the fridge, and all the food.
And I also needed to make sure my phone was charged because our tickets for the IndyCar race were on my phone.
So, finally, Saturday rolls around. We immediately call them right when they open. Apparently, they knew about our house. And then about like 8:30, 9 a.m., they come. They turn the power on. And all was fine. The fridge was fine.
Yeah, it was totally fine.
Everything in the freezer was still frozen, which was amazing because we didn't open it once because... like we said to you guys before, we grew up in Long Island, New York, and we dealt with Hurricane Sandy, and we didn't have power for 11 days.
So we know, don't open up the freezer.
We've learned some things when you don't have power.
But because of that, we were like, okay, we can't leave the house on Saturday to get to the race until we have power.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to be like 85 degrees that day. And we're like, we can't leave the dogs in the house when it's 85 degrees, but also like we have to go. And so our original plan for Saturday was to go to the racetrack at about like leave at like 8:30 from our house to get there for practice 1.
It started at 9:30.
And this is what we did last year. And then we would stay for practice 1, we'd watch the Indy Next stuff, and then we would watch qualifying, and then we would go home after that. We wouldn't stay for the third practice because we needed to go deal with the dogs. The change of plans, we ended up going a little bit later. We made it there for qualifying, and then we stayed for the late practice session, at least as much of it as we could, because all of us were so exhausted from not having like any sleep the night before due to all of our anxiety.
Yeah, it was not the easiest night of sleep, and I'm sure it was also like the anticipation of the next few days ahead. But also I feel like anyone that has construction or been in dealing with like living in their construction can deal with just that anxiety too. But you get over it and everything was fine.
Yeah.
So
Saturday, we
finally, once the power's on, we know the air conditioning's running, so the dogs will be fine.
And we drive to the racetrack.
Before
we get, so with our seats, we do the premium seating, which is basically we're just the very last row of the grandstand. We have an actual seat and not like a bleacher seating.
We do it for the shade too.
Yeah, it's for the shade, and then we also get premium parking with that. So it's the parking lot directly next to the grandstands, which is really convenient, honestly. It's worth it just for that. And all of that, we have to have our parking passes I have to show, our tickets and everything, our paddock passes, I have to show everything. We're about to pull up to where we need to turn to go to the parking lot, and I look on my phone, nothing for Saturday for our tickets is showing up in the app. I'm freaking out thinking, oh my gosh, did I accidentally hit like sell? Like, what did I do? And the racetrack is in the middle of nowhere. And so there's nowhere to just pull off.
It's the racetrack and an Amazon warehouse.
Yeah.
And when you're in the grandstands, you look out at the racetrack and the Amazon warehouse. There's nothing else. It's no man's land.
Yeah. And so we keep driving, and then
at
eventually
least on that stretch of
we
road.
get to a dead end, and we have to make a right. And so the right that we took, there was a Dollar General right there. We park. We call the ticket services for the Nashville Speedway.
Super great customer service.
Yeah, fantastic. Told them what the issue was. The tickets were linked to my phone number, my whole account, and they immediately sent everything to my phone in a text. And so we were all good to go. We did that. We got there, showed everyone everything. We were able to park in the parking lot. We were able to get in with our passes, and we were able to pick up our paddock passes. When we were waiting in line for the paddock passes, though, it did sound like this was something that was happening to a lot of other people. Like the tickets just weren't showing up in the app. So I think it was just a weird glitch. It was solved before the end of the day, so there wasn't any issue. Qualifying was really great. So last year, as we spoke about last year, we had sat in the same seats that we sat in this year, and we were surrounded by a bunch of older gentlemen
Yeah.
who, like, they go to multiple IndyCar races every year. They've been
They
to
go to
like
the Indy
40 Indy
500.
500s. And so, like, they are seasoned veterans when it
Yeah.
comes to IndyCar fans. And we're sitting there waiting for qualifying to start, and they all come sit down, and they're like, "You guys were here last year." Which was really nice. It was really exciting to get to see them again and like talk to them about everything.
It was cool because we've followed this season a lot more closely than we did last year. I think last year we watched one or two races, and it was funny because if you don't watch enough, it is hard to follow in just like one race. Whereas this, we kind of had our footing. We knew what cars were what. We knew how to spot certain things. So it was just cool because talking to them, we knew, again, it was a moment where we were like, okay, we know what we're talking about. We could ask them their perspectives. There's a lot of drama going on in the IndyCar world right now and a lot of movement. I mean, even today, which we'll talk about. So it's just interesting because I feel like it's nice to feel like confirmed in your feelings towards the sport when someone who's been watching for 40 years versus us who's been watching for a year and a half. So, and we don't get to experience F1 live with like F1 fans. We don't go to F1 races yet. But if we win the
lottery
lotto
tonight, who knows? Maybe we won't say anything, but you'll know if
maybe
we won the lottery.
But
no, we didn't win, guys. Not yet.
But no, it was fun. It was really cool to be like reunited with people who we got to like experience the first race with last year.
Well, and so while we were watching qualifying, I turned to the guy next to me and I asked him what he thought of all the Penske drama. And I was really intrigued to hear his answer because I wasn't sure if this was just like, oh, like, is this drama that like we care about because drama can make things interesting sometimes, or is this drama that like seasoned veterans cared about as well? And it was interesting because he was like, yeah, I've lost a lot of faith in Joseph Newgarden, and like Penske, it's just such a shame.
Yeah, there was a large amount of disappointment in the lying of it all, and the fact that they were caught red-handed. I think that Emma made a lot of like really good comparisons between Red Bull and Penske and how like it's kind of like that Tyra Banks meme where it's like we were all rooting for you, and like it's crazy that you're the top team, you're the top dog, and you still do shady shit.
Yeah.
So, that was like a lot of cool, like a lot of the better conversations, or not better, but like just like a lot of the fun moments we had in the weekend.
So we did that, and then we went over to we had food, and then we went over to the Paddock, and this was exciting because we've never been to a Paddock at all before.
Yeah, it was interesting. I feel like a little bit of it stressed us out.
Well, yeah. So you walk in and you kind of get like full access to so many things, which is kind of crazy.
Close enough.
Yeah, as much as like you're not going into the motorhomes, obviously.
You're not picking up wrenches.
Yeah, obviously. But you can walk right up and you can watch them work on the cars. You can walk right up to the door, basically, of the motorhomes and meet the drivers if they're out there. And to us, it was really cool to see the cars, like, basically just full-on guts open, like, being worked on.
Knowing that we were about to go watch them race.
Yeah. And then even just being able to, like, walk around in the environment was really cool to us. I will say, like, the driver aspect of it, like, having them, like, walk past us, it was like, oh, cool, like, getting to see you in real life. Cool.
It was funny because there were moments where we'd be like, oh, that's so-and-so, oh, that's so-and-so, like, just the speed, because they'd be on scooters or in golf carts, and it's like, I don't know, we didn't want to bombard them for photos or signatures because there were already so many people doing it, and there was so many moving parts going on that it was like, I don't know, I don't think any of us wanted to get in the way.
No. And I'm sure that they don't really care at the end of the day. But, like, for me, it really does feel like walking up to them and asking them for an autograph or a photo. Like, I think it's totally chill when everybody else does it. But for me, personally, it feels like the equivalent of somebody walking up to me at my desk in my office.
Well, because of that, it's like...
And so I'm like, I don't want to... You're in the middle of working. I don't want to bother you.
Well, and it's because of that, too, that, like, if there's someone that really, really wants that experience, like, I would rather not be in their way for it, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I would rather, you know, a kid, like, did you see that baseball clip of that kid at the U.S. Open who got the hat stolen by the CEO?
No.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll
you'll
have to
tell
show
me
it
about it later.
But, like, it's things like that. Like, I'd rather have someone who really wants it experience it.
Yeah, 100%. But getting to see some of the drivers, like, in real life was pretty cool. Some of them taller than you think.
Yeah.
And ones that are short, that you think are as short as you think.
Pivoting away from that, it was cool to be inside the track.
This was the coolest part.
Because we hadn't ever seen the track from that angle. We'd obviously only seen it from the grandstands, which is, again, not complaining. But to be in the middle of it, there was a period where...
Because we stayed there during the Highline practice.
And so
we watched the cars get rolled out.
Which is really cool to see all the crews with the cars being rolled. Like, just being able to take that close of pictures and videos. It was what we wanted and more. And so once the cars were on the track, we couldn't go, our passes didn't let us go into the pit lane, but we could go into this, like, little gated section that was basically parallel. So there was, like, just an iron barred gate.
But you were basically
you could
right
see
there.
through it. So there was a section where you walked all the way down and you were at turn 4. And you could stand there and watch the cars. I mean, how many feet do you think it was?
Less than 100.
Yeah, and we just stood there for probably like 5-10 minutes
and just
watched them go by, because when were we ever gonna get that close again?
It was so cool.
Yeah, so
10 out of 10 experience. If you have the opportunity to do it, IndyCar is a lot more accessible when it comes to paddock passes with the cost. Definitely save up and do it if you can.
It's also where the grandstands are and where the paddock is. It's about, I think I heard someone say it was like a mile from each other. They have a tram service, and it's pretty, like, it's always, we waited probably 5 minutes at one time.
If we were to leave our seat to then go down to the tram, the time from leaving our seat to getting into the paddock, maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And most of that would be spent walking from the grandstands to the tram.
Yeah.
So
cool. That was kind of how we ended
Saturday.
And then Sunday?
Sunday, we went there in hopes that we were going to get to go to the autograph signing. Because at that moment, it was like, okay, this is specifically a time dedicated for the drivers to give us autographs. Like, this feels a little less odd. We get there.
Justification.
In my mind, that makes sense. We get there, and the line is so long. So long. And we're like, you know what? Let's just have a cup of coffee. Let's go walk. Let's go look at the track. It's okay. We don't need to meet them. The only thing that I'm mad I didn't get to do, I'm going to Copenhagen in a few weeks, and I wanted to ask Christian Rasmussen for tourism advice. But alas, maybe one day.
Yeah.
But we ended up going, we got coffee, and then we walked to the track, and Vintage Indy was happening.
Yeah, so on the bottom level of the Nashville Speedway, there's a section where you can basically walk up to this chain link fence, right?
Yeah,
chain link fence. And you're probably, 15, 20 feet
Not
away
even, yeah.
from the track. And it's just all of vintage Indy cars.
Yeah, it was really cool.
One of them was a 2-seater, which we loved. I think that was the oldest one. But that was something that it had happened at the end of Saturday, and we couldn't stay because of the dogs. So to be able to see it Sunday morning was, I really enjoyed it. I think Chris really enjoyed it, so.
Yeah.
Then we went back up to our seats for the Indy Next race, which at one point we were hemming and hawing about leaving it a little bit early because we ended up packing lunch and eating in our car because
I recommend that to everybody.
it was
Don't buy
just-
the food at the Speedway. It's it's normal fare food.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
if
it's
you
not
want that,
bad, but for us, we just Chris and me had it the day before. It's not cheap. I mean, it's like typical stadium food. So we were just, Chris and me packed sandwiches, and then Emma had her leftovers. But, basically, we go up, watch the Indy Next race, which was awesome. We got to see Miles Rowe.
yeah.
win
So the
another
Indy Next
race.
driver that we've been supporting this season has been Miles Rowe, and he won a race earlier in the season, and then we got to see him race and win this race this weekend, which was really, really awesome.
Yeah, it was also just it's so hard because we want to follow the feeder series. Like, we want to follow Indy Next.
There's
we
just
wanna
so
follow
much.
F1 Academy, but there's so much content between the two sports. I mean, even now now that IndyCar is over, like, we'll have so much more time to really like focus on F1, because splitting your time between the two is not easy. I mean, it's a lot of hours on your weekends
Watching TV.
Yeah. So
Yeah. And so after the Indy Next race, we ended up going back to our cars to eat, and the All American Rejects were playing at noon. So a couple months ago, when the All American Rejects were doing their like house party pop up tour kind of thing, they came to Nashville. And I mean, for me, I am 26. I did not grow up. I wasn't like a teenager when the All American
Yeah.
Rejects were performing, and they were big. But like they were in so many of their songs were in classic 2000 stuff that like we grew up with. And so my friends and I, we went to the house that they were having that concert at, and we
they
were like,
missed it by like 100
yeah,
people.
not even like 30, 40 people. We were just short on the line, so we didn't get in. And then when we saw that the All American Rejects were going to be playing at IndyCar, we were like, it's fate. It's fate. And it was awesome. We went to go stand by the crowd, and we were standing next to this family, and it was a dad who might have been in his like early 30s. And every single time they came on, like,
Oh my God,
he
he
was
was so
screaming.
excited.
It was so funny, and he had his daughter on his shoulders filming the whole
Yeah.
thing. It was hysterical. And we left their set early because we wanted to get to the paddock before the driver intros in hopes that like we could see some of them come out.
Which we did.
And we get to the paddock, and literally we take some photos. We hadn't taken photos the day before, and as we pull up, a golf cart of who pulled?
Renus BK.
Graham Rahal of Scooters Past.
Yeah.
A golf cart of Renus BK. Somebody else. Was it Stingray Rob?
I think so.
And like
I feel
maybe
like
somebody
I saw
else.
Stingray Rob a lot when I was
We
back
saw
there.
Stingray Rob a lot. I
Yeah.
feel like out of all the drivers, he's the one I saw the most.
Yeah.
Who else did we see?
I can't remember.
We saw Alex Palou walking.
Yeah, he wasn't on like a motorized vehicle.
No, he just
unlike
walked the
rest
whole
of them. He
thing.
was walking, doing media.
There's a
But,
bunch of other ones that we saw, I feel like.
Yeah. But at that point, it seemed like a certain ticket could go on to the pit lane. We, alas, could not. So
I found a way to do that next year, though. So we'll be doing that next year.
So we kind of took the opportunity to go back to the tram before like everyone that was in the pit lane or swarming like the paddock area started to wait for the tram so we could get back before the start. So at that point, get back to our seats, and then we watched the race.
Yeah, we sat down with the with our guys we're now friends with.
Yeah.
And the race was a really good race. Our only complaint is on the IndyCar app, on the IndyCar radio portion, it's about like a lap and a half behind what's actually happening in real life. So when something would happen on track, I had to wait like a good minute to find out what's next. Like what just happened.
I would love to know if, and this is probably a question I should have asked the guy right next to us, but if you have a scanner or if you use one of the scanner radios, how delayed is it? Because I obviously understand, like, I feel like radio signals are going to be a little bit delayed from my elementary understanding. But it's like, is it a lap and a half? Because that's how long the IndyCar app, like, on iPhones was.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we need to go old school.
I think we might have to go
scanner
old
radio,
school.
which I think is, we're possibly putting it on our Christmas list.
Yeah. So, as you guys know, Paddock was on pole, so that was very exciting. His goal was to win a race from pole, and he was doing really well for a good chunk of the race. The start happens, and on turn 2 of the start, unfortunately, Christian Rasmussen,
Yeah.
the most recent race winner, crashed out of the race.
Yeah, it was definitely a weird moment in the sense of, like, he went too high or he, like, clipped someone. I can't
I
remember
think he went
who.
too high.
And at that point, I feel like we knew, oh, okay, it's gonna be
one of
it's
those.
gonna be one of those races. And it was.
Yeah, there was a lot of crashes. Who was next? Was it Louis and David
me get it.
next?
So next was 52 laps in. Alex
Yes,
Palou's tire got a flat. He'd been battling with Paddock, which was kind of crazy to see in
They
person.
were doing side by side for
laps. David Malukas, who was ripping through the grid, ended up getting into a tussle with Louis Foster and went into the wall. And this was a moment that kind of a lot of people got angry about.
Yeah.
Especially because of the speed that David Malukas was showing.
Well, and Louis he was not ahead of him. He was being lapped by David Malukas. And to our knowledge, each time that we watch an IndyCar race, you don't have to yield to somebody who's passing you. And so technically, I don't believe he had to yield to David Malukas.
No, but it definitely, seeing it in person, it was hard to tell. Seeing it through, like, the highlights, I don't know. I don't know if it's as big of a, like, I'm sure it's not the first time it's happened.
I think it was a bit of a racing incident.
Yeah.
That people freaked out about given the situation with David afterwards.
Yeah.
So afterwards, David Malukas was brought into the medical center and was taken a look at. And we're watching the race, and all of a sudden, I start seeing the helicopter, what is it? The helicopter blades start spinning. And I pointed out to MC, and I was like, oh gosh, like, that's the helicopter that's right next to the medical center. Like, he's about to be airlifted somewhere, basically.
Yeah, and it was funny because the couple on the other side of us, from the gentleman we watched the last 2 races with, the couple next to us, the lady, she was saying that her daughter was watching on Fox and that they weren't really saying anything about it. And then on the radio, they weren't really saying anything about it. And then all of a sudden, the helicopter takes off. And that was, I mean, it's not surprising, but a race can't get out of, like, yellow caution until there is a helicopter on site. And so because this one medical helicopter flies away, we need to wait, which I don't know where the hell it came out of. It came out of the trees. Another helicopter comes, and then the race resumes. But it was definitely one of those moments where it wasn't clarified for quite some time.
Yeah,
and it ended
apparently he needed to go for more scans, the stuff that they just, like, don't have at that medical center.
It ended up being fine.
Yeah, he's totally fine.
Nothing of concern.
Yeah, but people didn't know that he was fine for, like, another 6 hours, I'd say.
Yeah. I can't remember which crash was next, but Paddock Award.
I think it was Paddock, his car failure.
Who was in first?
He had such a chill reaction about it, though.
Yeah, he really did.
Meanwhile, in F1, I think they would have started sobbing. They would have fallen to their knees. They would have thrown their helmet around.
Yeah.
Like,
he was more concerned about David because...
Yeah, it did seem like that.
But he ended up... Was it tire failure?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and then he went into the wall. So he ended up being fine himself. Then, was there one more? Is Scott McLaughlin? No.
I think that might have been it.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah. At one point, Will Power was looking like he was going really, really strong.
Yeah.
And then, poor guy, I can't even remember what issue he had because so many things happened in the race. He ended up having an issue with his car, and then he ended up back in, like, kind of the middle to the back of the pack.
Yeah.
Which was really frustrating in the sense of, like, all of the rumors that were swirling around Will Power. So at that point, which we now know what the outcome is, there was a lot of conversations, and he himself even disclosed that, like, he wouldn't know his future until after the Nashville like the Music City Grand Prix, meaning like something was in the air over there at Penske.
Yeah.
His contract was up. And I think last episode we talked about this, that it was something that was a conversation floating around the paddock.
Yeah.
So he ends up, I don't remember what he finished in. It wasn't a fantastic performance. And all of a sudden, very different from F1, the last 48 hours, IndyCar has just been like dropping announcements. And so it's announced that Will Power and Penske
are breaking ties. And then it was announced today that, so there were rumors that Colton Herta was going to be going to F2 because he needed more points for his super license and whatever.
Because of Cadillac.
And so and just if you don't know, Colton Herta, he drove for Andretti for IndyCar. And so it was announced today that he is going to be a Cadillac reserve driver / test driver. So he will no longer be driving for IndyCar. It hasn't been announced that he's going to F2 yet, but I think it's just a matter of time until it is. And the person who's taking his spot at Andretti is
Will Power.
Exactly. So, and Rinus VeeKay is apparently not going to Dale Coyne. He turned them down, going to return, which means he wouldn't be turning that down unless he got a better option.
Yeah,
so I'm assuming that he'll be going probably, what team is David Malukas on? Is it AJ Foyt? I think so,
yeah.
People think that David Malukas is going to then go to Penske, and then Rinus VeeKay go to AJ Foyt.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, too, is that very different from F1, the drivers don't keep their numbers. The numbers are glued to the car. So the number that Will Power was, which I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think it's 12.
I think possibly, yeah. The number that he was at Penske, he's not going to be anymore. Like, that's not going to be his number. So for those that are new to the sport, just be aware of that so you're not thinking he's in a different car.
Yeah.
What else?
I think the rest of it was our Sunday night.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to talk about it.
I'm going to talk about it. So Sunday, I had seen on Instagram that there was a Prema after party, and that's where Waka Flocka Flame was. Did not see that. Would have loved to go see Waka Flocka. But alas. I saw on Instagram that there was going to be an after party at this one place downtown for Louis Foster, and he eventually ended up securing Rookie of the Year. Originally, my friend was supposed to come with me, couldn't come in the end, and then I was like, I'm just going to go by myself because MC didn't want to come. She ended up deciding to come, her and her husband. And thank God they came because I would have had an anxiety attack just being there by myself because it was like Nashville does not have nightclubs at all.
Mm-mm.
There's just like dive bars and like livelier dive bars.
Yeah.
And this was like the closest thing to I feel like a club I've seen in Nashville, and so we walked in and it was like whoa.
Yeah, it was not I think what Emma was expecting at all.
No, I think I kind of expected a club, but like I don't think I had mentally prepared myself for it.
Yeah.
And like one half of it was basically it seemed like Louis Foster, his family, friends, and like sponsors and stuff like that. And so for the first hour that we were there, we read the vibe of the room and we're like, we're just gonna have a drink and dance and have fun.
Yeah.
And so we're just drinking, having fun. Meanwhile, it seemed like all of the business conversations were happening on that one side of the bar. And eventually all those people kind of trickle out. And we're still just like dancing, vibing. MC's doing the can.
Yeah.
And who I believe is Louis' friends end up coming up and like dancing in the same vicinity as us. And then it seemed like him and his family ended up, who I think I'm assuming it's his family.
People from the tables over by him ended up coming.
Yeah.
And you know what? We started the party. And
it was a lot of fun.
That's what our family's known for.
Yeah. We are always invited to weddings because we always bring the life party.
Yeah, you gotta... It just seemed a little forlorn for a hot sec, you know?
Yeah, and the moment we walked in, I think it was quite obvious to us, this is not the setting. We are not going to be asking this guy questions.
We're not absolutely not. I don't even think that was a thought you know.
It's definitely a thought in my head. I was gonna ask him some because of my conversation
Can
with
we
Will
ask
Buxton.
you your thoughts on this last season?
No, because of my conversation that I had with Will Buxton a few days ago, we
Yeah.
had talked about him, and I wanted to ask him about some of the stuff that Will had said.
Yeah.
Um,
Next time.
yeah. Well, I was hoping that so afterwards we left, like 11:30ish, and like 12ish, we're standing outside. And then, like, him and his friends, I guess, walk past us, and we're like, oh, congrats, by the way, I'm Rookie of the Year. And they're like, oh, thanks. And so then I, being the annoying person that I am, and deciding I'm going to congratulate him, I'm going to slide into his DMs, congratulate him, and hope that maybe I can ask him questions there. Like, maybe he'll respond to my DM because he recognizes us from tonight, then I can ask him questions. But alas, no response. Don't think he's even seen the message. So, Louis, if you want to respond to my message so I can ask you a few questions, that would be so nice.
Oh my God, Emma. Jesus Christ.
Subtle plug.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's fine. If you don't want to respond, you don't have to. Not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm sure he's watching.
Yeah, 100%. Anyways, what else did we do?
Nothing. We recovered the next day. It was Labor Day in the States, and we recovered, and Did we watch F1? Yes,
Yes,
we did.
we watched the F1 race
F1
then.
race, which might be an incredible segue.
Yeah, we're going to now go into F1. So obviously we're not going to be talking about F1 as much as we did just now about IndyCar, because IndyCar was a 3-4 day experience for us.
It was a 4-day extravaganza of
It really was.
Random, weird, surprisingly funny moments.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
What?
Nothing. Nothing. Okay. Talking about do we want to talk about qualifying, or let's just talk about the race?
Let's just talk about the race.
Okay. So Alex Albon in like the first lap moved up 5 places. Go off, King.
We also saw the results and like what was happening at the IndyCar race, and so all of a sudden we were like, "What? How did any of this?" Like, we didn't know how it got where it got to.
Yeah.
So continue.
Max had a slight spin because of sand in the first lap. It would have been crazy if he had DNF'd on that first lap at his home race. I never want that for anybody. Max has really grown on me over time.
Yeah.
As long as Max is not winning, then I love him.
Oh my God.
I don't even like when Lando and Oscar are winning. I don't
Yeah.
think I like when someone consistently wins. I think it ruins it for me.
You love an underdog.
I do. Who doesn't love an underdog?
True.
Lando ended up passing Max at about lap 8 for second place. And then by lap 11, we see Charles only about half a second behind Isaac. Oh, by the way, Isaac qualified 4th for this race.
Mm-hmm.
And so the whole time, I feel like I was just holding my breath to ensure that Isaac ended up on the podium. Which, even though I already knew he was going to make it on the podium because I saw the results the day before, I still was like, somehow, what if something changed?
Yeah. Jesus.
There was some debris on the track at about lap 16, and it was hitting Lance, Lando, Gabriel Bortoleto, and a bunch of other people. Lap 17, we find out that there is rain that might potentially start, which could make things interesting. I don't think it actually properly rained at all, because nobody ended up putting any wet tires on.
Yeah.
By lap 23, we see Lewis out of the race because of turn 3. Do you remember the full incident?
Barely, I'm going to be honest with you.
Was it with Kimmy?
No, that was Charles.
It was George. Or was it...
did
Lewis just... It happened on his own.
I thought it just happened to Lewis on his own.
It might have.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Anyways.
Or at least he made it back to the pit.
Yeah.
Unlike his teammate, which we'll get there. Lando ended up having a really bad pit stop under the safety car. The front jack was still attached when he tried to drive away.
Yeah, he just hit the gas. He went like less than a centimeter, and then they pulled it away, but it just added time. And luckily no one was injured. He did ask, so, Nice guy.
Lap 27, we see the green flag fly finally. And then pretty quickly, we see contact with Carlos and Liam, dropping both of them down the order. Both Liam and Carlos had tires that popped.
Carlos was pissed.
I get it.
Yeah, Carlos
was
really
like, again with this guy every time, and I get it. It feels like this happens with Liam often.
Yeah, he was definitely really frustrated. Are you going to talk about the outcome of that in a second?
Yeah, so Carlos ended up getting a 10-second time penalty for this when it wasn't him who did this.
And he was annoyed.
Carlos took the right line, and Liam was the one who turned into him.
Yeah, he very clearly on the radio was like, I'm going to have a conversation with the stewards afterwards.
Yeah, it was some bullshit. Lap 31, there's a VSC because of debris on the main straight, and it ended up going in by lap 32. Charles ends up passing George on the outside, and they end up knocking wheels. There was a lot of just knocking wheels.
Yeah, like, no one getting hurt, but yeah, a lot of bumping.
There was a huge lack of spatial awareness.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because this is kind of part of their jobs.
I mean, it's nice. It adds
I know,
excitement.
I like the spiciness for it. It's great. It's great as a spectator, but it's also a little crazy when that's quite literally your job. That's when we found out about the 10-second time penalty for Carlos. They claimed he caused a collision, which anybody with eyeballs would know that he didn't. Alas. I'm saying alas a lot today.
Yeah.
It's a great word. Eventually, we see a very sassy Fernando because he ended up getting hard tires put on and he didn't like the balance of them.
Mm-mm.
And I love a sassy Fernando every time.
He was so annoyed, too.
What did he say?
It was just another, like, why does this always happen to me? Why do we make these decisions? Kind of similar to what his other sassy moments have included.
Well, next year will be better. I say. I hope.
It better be.
For Fernando's sake. That man's not getting any younger, guys. Lap 53, turn 3. That's when we see Kimi and Charles crash. A double DNF for Ferrari the week before Monza.
Yeah, it's been a season, and that's where I'll leave it because I'm afraid of the Tifosi.
It has been a season. F1 TV, and I'm sure Sky Sports and all the other film people. Maybe, I mean, it was hysterical as a spectator. Maybe let's not follow a very sad driver after a crash with a drone and watch them sitting in the dunes because they have nowhere else they can go.
Yeah, they were really
trapped.
focused on that cinematic shot.
Yeah.
It was giving drama.
Yeah.
It was also giving, like, Netflix series.
He also, like, found somebody. He was on somebody's phone. Like, I guarantee you he did not have his phone, obviously.
Do you think Netflix got shots of it?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, he made it. He posted one of them.
I know. I'm like, did you have a photo shoot? Like, did you ask one of the photographers to start taking your photos and you started posing?
But yeah, Charles got stranded in the dunes, and then that's one of the things we saw, and we were like, what is going on? We didn't understand.
Because then, eventually, we'll get to it, Lando ends up crashing, and he also gets stranded.
Mm-hmm.
So both Lando and Charles are stranded, and I just don't really understand who decided to strand them there, and why not bring them across the track.
I would love just, like, clarity on why they couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, well, I don't understand. Are you telling me there's no way to escape the center of the track? Because that feels unsafe.
I don't know if those are the hard-hitting questions of journalism that people will ask.
No, I do think that's important to know.
Yeah, for safety.
Exactly. There was a full safety car that obviously came out because of that. Lap 58, we finally see the safety car end. We do see Kimi get a 10-second time penalty and then also another 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So he had a total of 15 seconds he had to serve. At this point, it was too late for him to, like, actually physically serve them. It was just going to be added onto his time. He was already having a kind of a tough race.
Yeah.
And because of that late safety car, everybody was bunched up really close. So, like, a 10-second time penalty drops you down the order a ton because of that. Colapinto ended up slamming wheels with Ocon. Again, another person doing it. What's going on, guys? Lap 65, Lando's car shits the bed. He DNFs.
Yeah.
And this is when he gets stuck in the
Wasn't
dunes.
it a similar issue? Obviously different sports and different cars, but yeah, wasn't it the same thing?
Yeah, it was similar, I think.
Yeah. Interesting.
I think
sure they
Lando's
have
was
no
more
relation.
Lando's was the power unit. I think
Okay.
Paddock's was the tire.
Okay.
So not the
So not the same
similar at all. No.
Never mind.
3 laps later, lap 68, the green flag came back out, and then everybody basically just races to the finish line. We see Kimi drop down to 16th because of his 15 seconds of time penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull up the results so I can go over that real quick. Okay, P1 was Oscar Piastri. This was a huge jump for him in the championship order.
Especially because of Lando's unfortunate DNF.
Exactly. It's going to be really difficult for Lando to catch back up. P2 was Max Verstappen. Happy that he made it on the podium for his home race. P3 was Isaac Hadjar. Let's go.
Amazing.
From crashing on this formation lap in Australia to being on the podium 15 races later, go off.
It was cool too because he really did seem celebrated during the podium. Like, it seemed like Oscar and Max were good about not being, not having any. Because sometimes they're not great, like, podiums when they're all spraying the champagne. You know what I mean?
No.
So.
Well, I think Max is always really good about, like, celebrating someone's first podium, but, like, all of us kind of agree that Lando and Oscar were kind of shit with Nico's first podium. Like, I feel like Max is really good about celebrating people.
Yeah.
P4 was George Russell. P5 was Alex Albon. He had a great race.
Mm-hmm.
P6 was Ollie Behrman. Another great race. Started from the pit lane.
Yeah.
And ended at P6. Crazy. P7 was Lance Stroll. He also had a fantastic race. He also climbed like 12 spots.
Well, and he crashed in, I think, like practice or...
Yeah, something like that.
Quali.
P8 was Fernando Alonso, king. P9 was Yuki Tsunoda, being in the top 10. That's all we care about for Yuki. P10 was Esteban Ocon. Great.
Love double points for Haas.
P11 was Franco Colapinto. P12, which he finished significantly higher than Pierre Gasly.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him. P12 was Liam Lawson. P13 was Carlos Sainz. P14, Nico Hulkenberg. Carlos got screwed because of the penalty.
Yeah.
He would have been in the top 10 if it wasn't for that. P15 was Gabriel Bortoleto. P16, Kimi Antonelli. And then P17, Pierre Gasly. And then obviously Lando, Charles, and Lewis all DNF'd.
Yeah.
So overall, it was probably one of the spicier races of the season.
A lot happened. A lot did, and we were shocked because we had a theory that for every crazy IndyCar race, it was going to be kind of a boring F1 race.
Yeah, it's the first time that we had spicy races from both of them.
Yeah.
Maybe that was our reward for all the torture we went through this weekend with our low lows.
It was a busy weekend, that's for sure.
That is for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get to our final thoughts. MC?
Yes.
Final thoughts.
I'm happy and kind of surprised at how good the IndyCar weekend went after everything we were going through. I definitely think I was nervous starting Saturday off, just because I was like, what else is gonna happen? But it ended up being a better event for us than last year.
Oh,
like I think and that's what I like too. I have friends that go to music festivals, and they're like, every year we go to the same one, we improve our experience. And I feel like that's the same with IndyCar, is that every year we go, we have a better time, and we even things we had for this year, we've talked about doing differently next year, making sure that we pack for every single meal. And that was like an enjoyable moment where we could just be like away from the crowds, the craziness. It is a lot of noise. And it's hot. It's hot. That's another reason why we get the seats that we do, is because you're guaranteed. We've been guaranteed shade every single time. I mean, you are
for the actual race.
Yeah.
For the Indy Next race, we were not in the shade,
and we got burnt.
I was wearing a one-shoulder top, and I have now the weirdest sunburn I've ever gotten in my life. So now I will forever wear sunscreen. Yeah. Remember that.
F1 fans, we're gonna do you guys better. It's been an IndyCar-filled episode.
Yeah. We're not going to make any more excuses about we were busy, whatnot. We're going to be on top of everything from now on.
Yeah.
It's been,
it's a learning experience too. Now that we're into both sports, it's like next year we're gonna improve on it.
Yeah.
It'll be better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just all learning moments.
Yeah. 100%.
So
Cool.
what about you?
I think that's kind of it. I think I agree with everything. I'm interested to see what more happens in silly season for IndyCar.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if anything in general happens for F1.
Yes, I agree with that one.
I think that's it.
Yeah. I'm excited for this coming up race.
Yeah. Monza. Classic.
It'll be a classic. Emma saw a video of the Tifosi and said it looked like the Pope.
In the words of Will Buxton, there's two religions in Italy. There's the Pope and there's Ferrari.
Yeah.
My close personal friend Will Buxton, I had to say it.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.